Tuesday Drive.
It's been another hot day across New South Wales, with some parts of the state reaching above the 40-degree mark. And as we continue to hear about the fires burning, it's a good time to recognise the hard work from the men and women on the front battling the flames in some very testing conditions. One such group is the Tabourie Rural Fire Service, and joining me today is the Captain, Diane Hecky. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here on the radio.
And thanks so much for taking the time out as well. Like, I can imagine you'd be very busy at the moment.
We certainly are. I've actually got a shift. It starts midnight tonight.
Oh, so what does a shift entail?
Oh, they're all different hours. Midnight to 8, 8 to 8. We have 1600 hours to midnight. They're all over the place.
So what do you actually do? From midnight, do you actually just sort of sit by a phone and wait for a call, or do you actually actively do something?
No. We actually go to a staging area and then we get deployed from there to go out onto the field. It may be, we do various things. We might be doing patrolling, putting fires out, or we could be putting backburns in. It just depends on what tasking we've been given.
What fires has the Tabourie Fire Brigade been involved in so far?
The North Durras, the Depot Beach ones, the Tamil, and of course the Tabourie one that came through here. And now that we've been going out as far as Yabra.
Oh, wow.
Don't really know where we're heading to tonight until I get there tonight and find out where they're going to deploy us to.
What's it been like sort of battling some of those fires in the local area? What sort of strain does it put on you as a person?
It was very hard at the time. I mean, I had a community meeting the day before, and we actually advised everyone to leave. But anyone that was staying to put yellow bins out the front filled with water, so if the winds come, if they blew over, they would still be standing. When we actually went round the next day and did a head count, I couldn't believe that 182 residents actually stayed.
Wow.
And a lot of them were very elderly that, couldn't even leave the area, even if it was like an emergency to go. So they're very lucky that we didn't get the actual impact, even though it was impacted, but the extreme impact and it could have been more devastating.
What's the reception like when the people like that see the Rural Fire Service turn up?
What do you mean, afterwards or before?
Yeah, well, just before. Do they sort of feel calm knowing that they've got that presence there to help them out of, if it gets a bit difficult?
Yes, I think so. But I think they actually thought, well, if you have more, fire engines there to protect them, or they had a lot of them were saying, like, oh, I've got a double brick house, we're safe. And, we tried to explain to them that, you might be in a double brick house, but embers can still land in in the eaves and on the verandas and still light fires. And I think after what happened actually in Tabourie, I think a lot of them now are going to have a different attitude if we ever say now's the time to leave.
With some of these fires that you've attended, can you sort of describe what the smell is like? Because, I just think of, say, a fire coming from a slow combustion, stove that might have in our house, but I imagine it'd be something completely different.
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't know, not being far from, I don't know, my experience has been like in front of a blowtorch, and it goes dark. It's like, well, what happened to the daylight? Someone switched the lights out on me. And the wind swirls around, and, yeah, it's very, I think quite a few residents actually experienced it like we actually did, and they just can't believe what they saw.
Is it ever scary at all? When you go into these situations, or are you sort of well trained enough to, you don't sort of think of it like that?
Oh no, we actually do train for that. But in saying that, you never let your guard down. Never think that you are safe. You always are looking around that, the main person we've got to protect is ourselves, then our fellow colleagues, and then it goes on to the public. Because if they're no good to the public without us. So we need to have everything safe. We do train. I tell my members all the time in training, you never let your guard down. If you don't, it could come back and bite you. You've got to watch all the time. Trees, the whole lot.
How long?
Trees are very damaging.
How long have you been involved with the Tabourie Rural Fire Service for, Diane?
Myself, I've been in the brigade for 30 years.
Wow. What got you interested at the start? What sort of prompted you?
Well, when we first joined, we were a very, very, very small community, and there was only, I think at the time, 3 members, and they wanted to get the brigade up and running. And so my husband and I, we moved here as, with a small young family. We thought, well, that sounds right for us. So we took it on, and we used to rotate. I would have the kids, and we used to rotate it. And as the children grew up, obviously, I went more into it, and then followed through with. Now I've been the captain for 17 years.
And how many people are in your little brigade down there?
I've actually got 18 members.
Yep.
Myself being the only female. It would be very nice to have more females. So
is there a bit of a call out for more volunteers then?
Yes, I think so. We definitely do need them. I don't think you could never have enough volunteer members, because we are totally volunteers. We are unpaid.
Mm. And if people want to volunteer with the Tabourie Rural Fire Service, how can they do that?
Well, I mean, they could reach us by email, or they would, if they would like to, ring my mobile. Obviously, I'm busy. They could obviously leave a message or things like that. And I do return all calls when I'm available. So probably maybe the mobile, and as I said, I can return the calls.
Well, what I'll do is I'll definitely get those details off you, Diane, and I'll pop them up when we post this interview. Now, look, I'd love to know about these letters that you've received from some local school children recently. What's the story behind that?
Oh, yes. So the other day when we were in lockdown, where no one can go in and out, they allowed a food delivery to come through, escorted through with, it was put into group vehicles actually, and it was brought into the fire shed, and so we're putting all the food up on the table. Myself and Maureen were doing it, and I come across these beautiful little Christmas decorations, and I thought to myself, wow, they're beautiful. I'll just put them aside. No resident here would want Christmas decorations. They're chasing food. So I brought them home and put them on the bench, and the next morning I had a cup of tea, and I thought, oh, they're beautiful. I looked them up, and then I realised there was a note in them, and I opened them up and I read each one of them, and I did shed a tear, thinking how beautiful how these kids, put a special note in with these decorations. I really thought that was wonderful. I haven't at this stage told all my members, but eventually I'll let them know, and they're going to be a special part on our Christmas tree forever in our hearts.
So it sounds to me, if you had not have sat down at your kitchen table and had that cup of tea, you may never have come across those letters.
No, I'm so pleased that I thought that the people wouldn't want them. You can't eat a Christmas decoration, and that's why I don't even know what made me put them aside. And then, as I said, there was that many people going in and out of the station. I thought, no, I won't leave them there. I'll take them home, put them there, and they're absolutely beautiful. Thank you to the children that bought them. They're really beautiful decorations. As I said, Tabourie will really treasure them.
Are they from the local school down there at Tabourie?
No, they're from Ulladulla High School, actually.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yes. And, I'm sure that there's more children out there all over this whole area that would like to do the same thing, as I know that my own grandchildren have done it in their classrooms, on how proud they are of not only their parents, but every other volunteer. Like even my own members, like what they've been going through, leaving their families. It's been very hard on them, but we're all very good supporting group, and we all stick together, and we talk about it.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned families, because obviously they play such a pivotal role in the lives of volunteers. What did you want to say to your volunteers' families this afternoon?
My heart goes out to you for letting your husband come away from your family to help out other families. The long, hard hours that you've given us, the community, I can't thank you enough.
Diane, I think that is a wonderful way to finish our conversation this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. And look, not only do I want to thank you for coming on and chatting with me this afternoon, I'd also like to, on behalf of the whole community, say a very special thanks to you and the team for all that hard work with battling those fires to keep us all safe. And best of luck this evening, Diane.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh,
thanks for the call.
Absolute pleasure. That was Diane Heggie, the captain of the Tabourie Rural Fire Brigade. And if you haven't already, it might be an excellent time to update or even start your bushfire survival plan. Do you have one? If not, you can head to rfs.nsw.gov.au to discover how 4 simple steps could save you and your family's lives if the unthinkable happens. It's 16 to 6. This is Tuesday Drive. It is lovely to have your company across the mighty Shoalhaven this afternoon. At Triple UFM, we understand your afternoon commute. Like you, we live in the Shoalhaven. We know you're not allowed to touch your smartphone, so rely on what your car radio is tuned into. At Triple UFM, we get that any disruption on your trip home can affect your travel. We also believe that you want hand-picked music that's not from a playlist.
Oh, Shoalhaven River, what a nice river!
And hey, an opportunity to have your say. Hi, I'm Stephen. Join me for Tuesday Drive from 5pm on Triple U 104.5 FM.